don't even actually remember picking up the gun. I just remember shooting. I panicked, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's really going to kill me this time, you know? It's either me or her.
That night was tense, each knock on the door piercing like a needle into her sense of safety. Susan panicked, recalling how she suddenly grabbed the gun as if in a haze, a rash decision born of fear and long-simmering resentment in the neighborhood.
How do you know what you're firing at when you're firing through a door that you can't see through? Hi.
I'm sorry, I was sitting here because I was freezing.
Oh, it is chilly in here, isn't it? Susan?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm Detective Stitt. This is Detective Peterson.
Okay.
Can we just get you slide that chair back over here just a moment? I'm sorry to keep you waiting so long. We just had a lot we had to sort through before we could come and talk to you. So again, I'm Detective Stitt. I'm an investigator here with the Sheriff's Office. So, do you know reason why we're...
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So, did the deputies like put handcuffs on you or anything with it? Because there's a lot of things going on, and we're trying to sort through the moving pieces to try to figure out what happened. So, naturally, they want to secure
Understood.
the scene in that under that circumstance, and then to handcuff you. So we're working this investigation. And at this point, you're not free to leave, so I have to make you aware of your rights, okay, before we talk. So I have to read this to you. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned.
Frustration over the children's behavior fueled her anger through every provocation. The sight of kids playing, their laughter, became sparks for conflict. The line between shared space and personal grudge turned into a boundary of life and death.
If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to execute these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of those rights I've explained to you?
Yes.
Okay. So the reason I'm trying to clarify all the events that happened tonight, and to try to, because really I only have, statements from people that were out there, and I would like to get your side of things and try to understand what exactly happened tonight, or last night now, I guess it is.
Good gravy. Basically, the neighbors were out there screaming, yelling. The kids were running back and forth. I had a miserable headache. Went inside, laid down. They finally got quiet. I came outside, and the three boys were there. I'm like, guys, you're trespassing. Come on, out of here. And he's like, I want this, and I want that, and this. I'm like, oh, okay, little big kids, because they're all really young. And
So you say you came out, and
I wanted to check my truck. Every time I had my truck on one side, the kids would throw the balls and hit the truck.
Okay.
So I moved the truck to the other side, then they moved themselves to the other side, and they keep just
antagonizing you?
Oh, God, horribly.
Okay, so when you said that you came outside and they were there, the three boys were there, where were they at?
Right in front of, that little cove that's
like
there.
The privacy fence?
They were right there.
Okay.
Right in front.
Inside the privacy fence, like on your patio or
no,
outside?
they were just right outside.
Okay.
And I'm like, guys, come on, leave. Because I wanted to check the truck and everything. And then they were like, I'm going to tell my mom. I'm like, go tell your mom. I don't care. And
have you had problems with them before?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. And they've been harassing me last week. They came out they were actually in the vestibule area. And they were like, wake up, wake up. I was watching TV. I'm like, really, seriously? Because, after a nice long shift, that's just when I want to hear these little run.
How long have you lived there?
3 years.
3 years? Okay. And how long have you been having problems with them?
Like 2 years.
2 years?
Ever since she moved.
Is it just those same three, or do you have problems with any? Does anyone else give you problems?
They want to play on that part where Charles owns and the other part. And I'm like, guys, come on.
Which part is that? I'm not sure. I don't know who Charles is.
Charles is the landlord. So there's, one of the cops came out and said, oh, it's an open lot. It's not an open lot. It's an abutment of 2 properties. I'm like, guys, come on, give me some peace, because in my apartment, there's sliding glass doors, and then I have the 2 bedrooms up front, and because it's an open concept, just you can hear everything.
The sounds travel right
It's
through
horrible,
it.
and I'm like, go play on the other side. We don't want to play on the other side. I want to play over here. I'm like, oh, good gravy, and so they just every time they see me, they get together and scream and yell.
They live in the same building?
No, none of them live there.
The pounding on the door grew frantic, as if trying to break through silence itself. Susan described the door shaking, her heartbeat racing. The sense of threat closing in blurred her judgment, and a reflexive choice was made in chaos.
I was going to say, one set of kids lives there, but the other sits on the other side. They will play on your side of the road, Come on.
Okay, so they were being obnoxious out there tonight,
Oh,
and they finally got quiet, but then you go outside and the three of them are out there?
Yeah, and I didn't want to go any further because he's like, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, what in the world?
Who said that?
H.I.'s kids.
Okay,
Like,
so who is it?
H.I., I think her name is.
Okay.
She actually had thrown a sign at me before. She picked up the no trespassing sign and just threw it at me. She's like, here, take your sign. I'm like, it's not mine, it's Charles. He doesn't want you guys here.
Mm.
So it's just, she's been in my mailboxes, she sends the kids in the mailboxes.
When did she throw a sign at you?
I want to say last year, just after I had my neck fused. I'm like, oh, good gravy.
What kind of sign? Like one of the ones you buy at the store, like a plastic, like on the
It was
fence?
a metal sign with a little metal, like a real estate sign. But it had no trespassing, so it was about that by that.
Is it the same one that was out there tonight,
No,
or
it was a
is it
different
different?
one. Mhm.
Okay.
They stole that sign.
So what happened tonight that led to the conclusion that?
Well,
that
I'm like, kids, go home. So they go home, and then all of a sudden, she comes out, and she is just banging on my door. I'm like, go away. I'm not dealing with you tonight. And then she started banging so hard, everything started shaking. And I'm like, you really need to leave. And then I'm gonna kill you. And she's just banging away. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. And since she has actually harmed me, I'm like, this just keeps getting worse and worse. I'm like, I don't know what to do with her. And she banged so hard, it looked like my door was gonna fly off. And I panicked. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's really gonna kill me this time, And so I don't even actually remember picking up the gun. I just remember shooting.
Where do you keep the gun usually?
It's in my bedroom.
That's where you keep
yeah,
it, like
I keep
in a cabinet or something, or just like?
It's just I actually keep it in the trash can.
Okay.
Next to the bed.
Nobody would look in there probably, right?
And I didn't think about it, and I'm like, oh my God, and I just started panicking, and I really feared for my life. I mean, honest to God, I was like, oh Jesus Christ, I'm a nervous wreck. I'm not supposed to be getting nervous or anything like this because I have an aneurysm on my left kidney artery. And so they're like, you're supposed to stay calm, you're not supposed to do anything, and this woman just keeps antagonizing me. She's got the kids calling me. I go out, they're like, hey Karen, I'm like, I have a doctoral degree. Do not talk to me like I am one of your peers.
So they don't really have any respect
No respect.
After the gunshot came a heavy silence. Cameras, the 911 call, and witnesses began piecing together a different story. Each scrap of sound and image surfaced to test the fragile narrative Susan was struggling to protect.
So AJ, she came to your door?
Oh yeah.
And she was
pounding on it. I was like, what the hell? My cats went flinging.
What was she saying? Was she saying anything?
You don't talk to my sons. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm gonna fucking kill you. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, and I was like in tears. I'm like shaking, and I'm like, oh my God. And I thought she had gone away, and then she starts banging again. I'm like, oh shit.
Did she try to come inside?
She was trying as hard as she could.
What do you mean?
That door was moving, and I'm like, holy shit.
Did she try the door handle, or was she just beating on it to try to push it in, or what?
She was just, just trying to push it in, trying to push it in, and I was like, oh my God.
You just let you know it's back. Side.
Okay, thanks. So what was she saying again?
She's like, you can't talk to my sons that way. I'm like, you're trespassing,
So you were communicating with her through the door?
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, just leave. I don't want to hear it. No, I'm going to fucking kill you. I'm going to fucking kill you. And I didn't think too much of it until she really started pounding that door. And I'm like, oh my God. Then I got scared, like terrified scared.
Now you had initially called,
because
did you call 911 or
yeah,
did you use the non-emergency number when you called?
When the first time, because the kids said, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to have my friends kill you. I'm like, oh my God, what the hell's going on now? I'm like, I don't need this aggravation.
Okay. So you called, was it 911?
Yeah, I called 911.
Okay. And that was before
Before
HI
she,
came
yeah,
over?
before she
Okay.
came over.
And the kid, okay, so we get like, as the deputies are responding, the
Mhm.
call taker's talking to you, they're putting information that you're telling them into the
Mhm.
computer, which goes to us as we're going out there. So
Mhm.
in that call notes, there's never any mention of you saying that they said that they're gonna kill you. It was more or less that they're harassing you, that,
Oh, no, I told the lady that they
Okay.
said they were gonna kill me.
okay,
No, I was very specific when I spoke.
okay. Now, did you see who was out there at that time?
I just knew it was HX by her voice, because she's screamed at me before, and I'm like, oh, great, it's her again, you know. And like I said, I just panicked, and I just got so frightened. I was like, oh my God, she's really gonna do it this time, she's gonna kill me.
Were you still on the phone with 911 when you fired the gun?
No. I thought that the kids went, and I was like, all right, I'll go check my truck in the morning. I didn't even leave, I just went back in the house and locked the doors.
So, but you had already contacted 911?
Yeah.
Did they advise you that someone was responding, an
Yes,
officer
they
was
did.
responding?
They said someone's
Okay.
coming out, and they said lock the doors, make sure you don't go outside. I'm like, okay, usual.
The history of conflict unfolded, a sign thrown, toys tossed, every small act magnified into fragments of hostility. These became the sparks that fueled a violent climax. The looming question remained, self-defense or intentional harm?
Okay. And where were you at when she was pounding on the door? Were you?
I was actually in the bathroom.
You were in the bathroom. I haven't been inside, so how does it, like when you go in through the front door?
It's all open, so
Okay.
you can see kind of the bathroom right from the front door.
Okay.
So.
And you were still able to hear her?
Oh, yeah.
She was
my
able
God,
to hear
yes.
you, that you know, as far as you know?
I don't know if she was able to hear me. I mean, she was just screaming for all she was worth. I'm like, stop, and
Okay.
she wouldn't stop. And I was just like, oh dear God.
What else was she saying besides what you've told me? Was she saying anything else?
She was just, some of it was unintelligible,
Okay.
so she was just ranting.
So I noticed there's, you have a couple cameras in the house?
Yes.
Okay. And are those like Ring cameras or Arlo
They're
or?
Blink.
Blink? Okay.
And then I have the one at the door, but when it gets dark out, they don't pick up anything, which sucks.
Do they record sound though, or
I
like,
have no
is it
idea.
all motion where it only records when it captures
only,
motion?
Yeah, when it captures motion.
Okay. But those are working cameras?
I don't know if the door bell picked anything up. You can look at it and stuff.
Is that through your phone that you were able to review that, or computer, or how do you?
Phone.
Through your phone? Okay.
But I don't think it picked it up because I didn't get a ding.
Susan's story would remain the same even days later, except when describing the situation days later, she provides a lot of details, which she allegedly doesn't remember right now.
So prior to her coming over there and banging on your door, because we talked to a lot of people that were out there at the time, and there was some statements given to us that you had taken a tablet or picked up a tablet that was
No,
on
sir,
the ground?
absolutely not.
No? Okay.
That child, like the other day, he said to me, "I'm gonna go tell my mom that you called me." I'm like, what? He came over with a rake and he was pounding everything with the rake. I'm like, really, seriously? So I don't know what's going on with that child.
Mm-hmm.
So
And which child is that you're talking about?
It's on the video. If you give me my phone, I'll show you which child it is. I don't know by names.
Is it one of the older ones?
Yeah.
Okay. And what was the deal with the roller skate? Because again, we talked to a lot of people who were outside and kind of witnessed some of
They
this.
keep leaving all their toys around. The other day, I almost killed myself going out. I had an early morning doctor's appointment, and I didn't see the roller skate, and I almost killed myself. I'm like, guys, stop already. This is not your garbage yard.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid's got his roller skates there, and I'm like, really, take your roller skates. And I threw the roller skates. I'm like, go fetch them. Just enough. Because
Did you throw that at them?
Oh,
or?
God, no.
Okay.
No, I just
And what is
threw-
the thing about the umbrella? You have an umbrella?
I thought it was raining before, and I walked out and it wasn't raining. I'm like, okay. So.
Okay.
Trust and community spirit eroded as undertones of prejudice and spite colored her words. With no clear sign of remorse, her actions seemed less like panic and more like the inevitable outcome of festering tensions.
Saying that that's what they saw.
I don't know. Maybe I did step out and I'm like, guys, go away, but I would never touch him,
Okay.
you know.
You like swat at them with it, but not.
Exactly.
Okay.
If I did it, it was probably because I was just so, like, come on.
Okay. But I know, at least say if you did, but is that what happened? I mean, we gotta kind of get specific about this because it's a big deal.
I understand that.
Someone's dead.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So that's why I say it's important to be specific and honest about everything. Okay. And I know from what it sounds like, I talked to several people out there, and it seems like this has been an ongoing thing where the harassment continues and just being obnoxious and don't have respect for their neighbors and just doing whatever they want, and it builds and it builds and it builds until you can't take it anymore. And unfortunately, it's led to this event.
It was only because she was pounding at my door, and I, honest to God, thought she was going to come in.
We have, over in our communication center, they're putting together, because all the calls that come into 911 are audio recorded, and there were several people even before. So there's open lines, we're recording and getting audio of exactly what's being said, not to mention if your camera's captured anything, okay? So that's why I'm like asking you before we go through that, and if something is different than what you're telling me, we need to clear that up now, because if
Okay.
you know what I mean, if the evidence shows something different than what you're saying, it doesn't look good, and I want to be open and honest with you.
I
that
just know that she was pounding and pounding on the door and scaring the shit out of me.
Okay,
You know?
but is there any reason why, if we reviewed that evidence, she wasn't saying, "I'm going to kill you"?
That's what I heard.
Okay.
I mean, that's what I honest to God heard. It's just what I heard.
As recordings, images, and testimonies converged, the story no longer looked like a single moment of fear. The investigation sought to separate true terror from a crafted excuse, because justice begins in the smallest details. When investigators reviewed the call, the words, "I'm going to kill you," never appeared. Yet Susan insisted that's what she heard. The seed of doubt was planted. Was it panic-stricken memory or a carefully staged story?
Okay. Did you ever look out the door to see? And I know you said you kind of recognized her voice. So.
I never looked out the door.
Okay.
I was afraid to get to my door, to be brutally honest. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, she's going to bust it in and just going to...
Where were you standing when you shot the gun? And you said you shot the gun
Oh, yeah.
through the door?
Yeah, through the
Okay.
door. I just panicked. It was probably by the kitchen table somewhere.
Okay, by the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
And how many times did you shoot the gun?
Once.
Just once? What kind of gun is it?
It's a Remington 380.
Is that the only firearm you have in the house?
No, there was a 22 Ruger.
Where's that one
I don't know. I don't know if I picked it up or not. I have no idea. Maybe the garbage can.
at? And after you fired the round, what did you do?
She said, ow, and I'm like, oh my God, I hit her. It just, clicked, I hit her. I was like, Jesus Christ. And I thought I just, nicked something.
Mm-hmm.
I never ever.
And what did you go out there?
No.
You didn't go out there?
No.
Did you call 911 back?
Yes, I did call 911.
Okay. And what did you say?
And I said, she was pounding on my door and I shot my gun. I'm pretty sure that's what I said.
Okay.
And she was threatening me and she was saying, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. So.
Okay. So it's a Remington 380.
Mm-hmm.
Is it a revolver or
No,
like a semi-automatic?
It's a pistol. I have no idea if
Okay.
it's semi-automatic.
What color is the Remington?
Black.
Black. And that's your firearm?
Yes.
Okay. So, again, we're trying to like get to, there's always two sides, right?
Mhm.
And when there's the truth is somewhere usually lying in the middle
Mhm.
somewhere. And I'm not trying to discredit what you're telling me, and I understand your concerns about, you know, this is your area. You want to be able relaxed and not have to worry about all this.
Riprap.
Basically, yeah.
She admitted firing through the door from near the kitchen table, claiming just one shot. Her Remington 380 was confirmed, but the Ruger 22? She couldn't remember where it was. The blurred details began to fracture the timeline.
But unfortunately, we can't get the other side from a G.
Ajike, I think her
Jake.
name is. It's Ajike.
Right. But we can't ask her side, right? So then we have to go by other people who may have seen or heard things, videos, 911 call recordings and things like that. And again, I have no doubt that they harass you and give you problems all the time. But again, when we review all the evidence, if it's going against what you're saying, and I know you say you heard this, but up front you said that's what she said. But I mean, that it's very important to be detailed and specific and honest, because again, if the evidence doesn't match up with what you're saying, then when we take this and show this to you know, a prosecutor who ultimately makes decisions about whether this was a justified event or not, if you're not being completely honest now, it doesn't look good, you know what I mean?
Just telling you what I know.
So, is it feasible to say that this is just got to a boiling point for you that you couldn't take it anymore? And because
No.
again, if this
was
listen, if this
absolutely
stuff
terrible.
happened in the past,
Mhm.
I get it, but we're talking about a specific event tonight where she didn't make it a point that she was trying to come in. She was trying to get your attention to say, apparently, to stop throwing things at her kids. Whether you actually, I know, listen, kids can lie. I get it. And I'm just saying, whether that actually happened or not, that's what she believed, because that's what she was told by her one of her sons. So she was coming over there to. I mean, does that ring a bell of her telling you not to be throwing things? No. What
Not that
specific words do you recall that she said?
I just remember her saying, "Don't talk to my sons that way, and I'm gonna kill you." I mean, that's what I heard. And I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
And you're sure when you were on the phone with 911 you told them that she said that?
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I mean, if someone was, the reason why I ask is because, like, if someone, let's say I'm not a police officer, or, you know, right, and I'm just at my house and someone's, like, beating on my door saying, I'm going to kill you or I'm going to kill you, oh my God. They're banging on my door. They're saying they're going to kill me. Like, that's a very fear-provoking statement when you know, if you're in a legitimate fear that someone's going to come through your door and kill you, if you're already on the phone.
I wasn't on the phone though. I was in the bathroom when she
You
started.
were on the phone with 911?
No, I was already off the phone with 911.
Okay, so she had already maybe made that statement before you even called.
Oh, the second time?
Anytime.
I was going to say the second time when I called, she had already said it.
Okay.
So.
But the second time you called was after you had fired the
Yes.
gun? Okay.
After the gunshot, Susan called 911 again, reporting pounding on the door and threats. But dispatch records, witness accounts, and collected video painted a different story, shaking the foundation of her testimony.
So,
And maybe I misunderstood it, because what my understanding was before I had to walk out of the room is that when she was knocking on your door,
It wasn't a knock.
the way
Sorry.
I understand, you said that it got worse. Like so I'm starting off with
No,
and then
she
we're
never,
gonna get
no,
harder.
she started off banging on that door. I mean, it was, you know.
But during that initial time is when you had said before that she had made the statement that, you know, she was going to kill you.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I just.
No, it's important that we learn the details, so that way, as we gather and collect evidence, the details are what help us piece that together, so we can see the big picture, right? I'll tell you that even as law enforcement officers, if we make a decision to, use deadly force against someone, we have to sit and explain the same way with details. I did this because of this, making me feel like this, right? And an investigator from the state listens to us the same way we're listening to you, and they present that to a prosecutor the same way that we would, right? So we're just trying to understand the details of what happened from your point of view, so as we gather our evidence, we can.
Understood.
Does anyone else live with you, Susan?
No.
Okay. How long have you owned your firearm, or firearms, or any firearm really?
Trying to think, I bought the Remington maybe a year ago.
Okay. And was it just for personal, like protection,
Yes,
personal
it was.
protection?
Yeah,
Do you carry it with you
No.
if you go out, just
No.
for home?
Only if I take it to the range.
Okay. Do you do that often, or how often do you think that you've shot at the range?
Probably 4 or 5 times.
Okay.
I used to be terrified of firearms. And then when the first time she threw the things at me and she was just so horrible to me, I'm like, I had just had neck surgery and I'm like, she could have really killed me, And I just was like, oh dear God, she was just violent.
My question is, how do you know what you're firing at when you're firing through a door that you can't see through, when you don't know if there's also a child outside standing there? Or, basically I'm asking you, what were you aiming at, and what were you intending to do when you fired that gun?
I was just fearful of my life, and I was just like, go away, go away. That's all I could think of, is just get out of the situation, just go away already. And
But when you fire through a door that's closed, was it locked?
yes, it was locked.
Okay. And, you said you're in the bathroom, which I understand you said it's kind of an open floor concept in there. So it's kind of open, but I'm assuming there's walls around the bathroom, you've got a door, you can close it. And I'm not saying that you're within your right, you're in your house, you don't have to do that. But if I'm looking at a door that's secured and whether someone's banging on it or not, law enforcement's already on the way.
Detectives pressed on the choice to fire through a locked door. If she couldn't see the target, was it self-defense or just a shot meant to scare? Susan insisted she just wanted them to go away, but that bullet ended a life.
At what point do
The door is broken.
the door's broken?
At that whole side panel, people have, she's pounded on it more than once, and he fixed it, but when everything started rattling so much, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna bust through it,
Okay.
So it's broken right now, or it was broken before and then the landlord fixed it?
He didn't cherry-rigged it. He put screws through it so that the centerpiece was supposed to stay in there, but she was pounding it so hard. Everything was just rattling, and I'm like, oh my God, it sounded like a horse kick. It was so loud.
One thing that I think my partner was trying to get at, and I don't know that I actually heard an answer to the question. When you're inside the house and she's on the other side of a door that you can't see through and she's pounding on the door, you make the conscious decision to aim your gun at the door and fire one round, right? Just one round?
Yes.
Fire one round. Were you trying to hit her, or were you trying to scare her off? Were you trying to make a loud noise to say like, hey, I got a gun, get away from my door? Or were you
I was never intending to hit her. I just thought, I thought I hit really high, I was just like, it's the first time I ever really used it, where I was,
not on a paper target?
Exactly. I was like, oh my God. So I was shaking. I was just so distraught at that point in time. I'm like, oh my God, she's really gonna freaking come to my house. And I was just like, all I could think is go away, go away, go away, go away.
Did you were you aiming for the door?
I just fired the gun. Because all I could think of is, I felt like I was in mortal danger. It's just how I felt.
And what made you, I know someone's banging on the door, you feel like they could get in, but at that point where nobody had breached or been able to get through that secure door, what made you feel like that was the time that you needed to do that?
I usually have a chair propped up against the door at night.
Okay.
And I didn't have the chair up there, and I didn't have the chain on the door either. So just the one lock was locked. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, of all the times that I never.
But before you decided to pull that trigger, you didn't think to try to put
I wasn't
the
going near
second-
the door because she was actually physically moving the door. You know, like you could see the door moving. I'm like, oh dear God.
So the thing is, and again, I can 100% sympathize with being fed up with that kind of harassment and that kind of disrespect.
The line between imminent danger and simple fear was questioned again and again. Susan described the terror of someone breaking in, but no weapon was ever seen outside. A moral question echoed: can fear substitute for proof behind the trigger?
But also someone lost their life last night, right? And she has children, and as much of a pain in the butt that they can be, they're not gonna have a mother now, okay?
I understand that, and that makes me sick.
And that is, as a parent, I think is like the ultimate reason that we need complete honesty. And I think what really, your intentions were maybe not to kill her, but I think you would just reach that level that we've all gotten to, where we can really make a bad decision, where it builds up over time and you can't take it anymore. And I think that you shot at her because you were fed up and you were over it.
No.
Is that?
No.
No?
I absolutely feared for my life.
So this
was an absolute, it's either me or her. I mean, it's just like, I'm like, holy shit.
But did you see her with a gun or another weapon
No.
or anything like that?
But I don't know what she had on the outside. You know, my lights were off, you know, so she came up, it was dark out. And I'm like, great, now she's pounding on my door. Now she's scaring the crap out of me. You know, now my door's moving, and I didn't have it properly secured.
When we first started talking, you said you made it very clear to the 911 call taker that she was threatening to kill you.
Yes, absolutely.
And if that's not on the recording, is there any reason why that's not on the recording?
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I said it. So.
Are you just pretty sure she said it as well? That she
Oh
was gonna
no,
do it?
absolutely, she said it.
Okay.
She was absolutely, you know.
So the way that I see it is kind of like this. You have two things that you are looking at when you're in your position. You have this fear, this imminent fear of great bodily harm, death, serious injury, right? Imminent fear. Or you have, I'm in my apartment, I'm scared as shit, and I'm trying to scare someone off. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you understand what the difference between those are?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to understand, do you have this imminent fear that you're about to die? Or do you have this, I'm afraid of what's going to happen if this person doesn't go away? Does that make sense?
No, I felt like I was in imminent danger.
Okay.
Detectives raised the issue of motive, harassment, disputes, accusations of throwing toys, swinging an umbrella. Years of frustration could push anyone to a reckless choice. Susan denied it, but her uneasy breaths told another story.
How would you define imminent danger? I just want to make sure that you because that's what the actual
imminent
law.
Danger, let's say someone coming at you with a nice 4-ton truck, you know, straight at you, and, you know, they're swerving with you when you're trying to run away.
Okay. So, someone coming at you and you're this close to danger. Okay.
Now, the first time that you called 911 tonight or last night, at what point did you disconnect from the call? You called about basically the kids were in your area and you didn't want them there.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did you disconnect with them?
They hung up with me. They said, someone's on the way, just keep your doors and windows locked. And I said, okay.
But AJ wasn't there at that point?
No, she was not.
Okay. How long after you disconnected with them did she come over there, do you think?
I honestly thought it was you guys, someone banging on the door like that, because it felt, like really heavy bang bang, a guy doing it, and I was like, okay, because it kind of shocked me, like, what the hell? And then she started screaming, and I went, great. And then, it was just weird because I just thought she is just so angry, and she's just ranting and pounding, and I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, from the information I got, she was angry and pounding because she believed that you had either struck or attempted to strike one of her kids with an umbrella and threw roller skates.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not, again, I know how kids can be, they're not always very truthful about things. But I didn't have any information provided me out there.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, we're still going through evidence, and that's an ongoing thing. But nothing that says that she threatened to kill you or that was doing anything more than trying to get you to come to the door. That she wanted you to open the door.
Why would I open my door to this woman? When she has
I wouldn't either. I
when
get
she
it.
has thrown things at me, when
Right.
she has followed me a foot behind me, I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Right.
I mean, she's literally come up, we had words about 2 months ago, and I walked away, I said, all right, whatever. And, I said, I'm sorry, just because I wanted to diffuse it, de-escalate everything. I'm walking away, and she's literally walking 1 foot behind me like she was, I said, oh my God, she's gonna pound me into the ground.
As witness reports and 911 tapes overlapped, contradictions became clearer. The investigation no longer asked only why fire, but who was she firing at in the dark, where fear and truth collided without mercy. The door rattled not only from pounding fists, but from years of festering hostility. Susan spoke of a rickety lock, her fear exploding. But can fear alone justify pulling the trigger that night?
So, yeah, I mean, that's my question, though, is if she wasn't trying to come in, she's just trying to get, and again, I wouldn't come to the door either. If you're beating on my door, wanting to cause something, I'm not answering it. But that's different than trying to bust the door down.
To me, she was
And you
trying to
said that
bust
the door's
door.
already broken, so
Yes.
how hard would it have been for her, because she's kind of a big girl, right?
Mhm.
How hard would it have been for her to break that door knowing you're home? You know your door better than I do, but
Mhm.
if it's already...
Well, we did put the extra long deadbolt on and everything. I did have the deadbolt on, so I didn't know how long the door was gonna
See,
hold
and,
up.
and that's why I'm asking, is
So-
because at first it's broken and now it's super secure with an extra long deadbolt.
No, I'm just
And that's
saying that we did put but if you look at it, everything's crumbling. I mean, if you look at the door, things are crumbling. I'm like, oh my God, my landlord is 76 years old, and he jerry-rigged it. Literally jerry-rigged it. And I'm like, oh my God, so it's not, I don't feel secure. Every night, I stick a chair under that door to keep, because I feel like someone's gonna break it in.
When did you install the new deadbolt, or did he did that? Someone else did it?
Yeah, Charles did it.
Okay. How long ago was that?
He just, I'm trying to think when the hell he did it, a few months ago.
And what was the reason for that?
She had pounded on the door once before and found out everything that he had fixed previously, she had cracked apart. And I'm like, oh God. Like I said, it's not the first time.
What did she pound on the door for last time? What happened with that?
I think I called her kid an idiot or something like that. And like, you see the signs, stop coming over here. And he's like, I can do anything I want. I could just go in. And I'm like, oh my God. It's just.
And what did she do that time? She beat on the door?
And she beat on the door and I'm like, go away.
Did you call the police then?
I believe I called the police, and this when, she heard me calling the police, then she went away.
She went away.
Fragments of the past surfaced: insults, a trespass sign, toys thrown. Susan downplayed her role, but neighbors remembered differently. As truth was stretched thin, each detail became a rope tightening around her.
What was she trying to get you? Was she that
I
time?
have no idea. I have no idea what this woman is thinking. I mean, to me, she's just terrifying at this point in time. You know, I just thought she is not mentally stable, and, you know, every time something happens, oh, it's my children, you know, and you know, they're 100% little angels, and of course, you know, you're demonized. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
But was she trying to get in that time, or was she just beating on the door and ranting and raving about you calling her son an idiot?
I think she was ranting and raving about me calling him an idiot.
Okay.
And I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, go away, you bother me. Enough, what? I did call them retards once, because they just kept coming and coming. I said, are you retarded? You can't read the sign.
This kind of behavior is something that many criminals do. By downplaying the situation and detaching themselves from it, they develop a defense mechanism that not only justifies their own actions, but also gives them grounds to counter claims by detectives, like you'll see.
Did you get your gun that time?
No. I didn't feel, she wasn't as forceful that time as, you know, this time was, you know, like, oh my God.
And do you think the reason was because she believed that you threw something at her
I
kids,
don't know
or?
what, I have no idea what she was thinking.
Okay.
I can't even speculate. You know, all I know is she's like, you know, you screamed at my kids, or you know, you said something to them, and then she's like, I'm going to kill you. I'm like, fine.
And if your camera does work, do you you're confident that any video would back you up, or and the reason I'm asking that is because this is the time, if there's any discrepancies, to clear that up now, and I'm just trying to be
I don't even know if
forthright
we're
with you on
engaged.
that. What's that?
I don't even know if we're engaged, because the last time she was there at night, I tried to play it and nothing came up. So.
Okay. Did you ever know her to carry a weapon or anything?
I do. You can't tell who.
No, you never know. That's
I was
right.
gonna say,
Yeah. We have kids out here running around with firearms and stuff. So, but I guess my question is, what is it that she did that made that an immediate threat to your life that you had to shoot when you did, or you were gonna be harmed at that
I thought she
second?
was coming right through that damn door. I mean, this guy was my witness. I thought that woman was coming through
What
that
made you
door.
think that she was coming?
Because
through the door?
everything was shaking. I mean, my mirror that was on the wall was shaking. I'm like, how do you shake a, you know, a cement block house? I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. That's why I thought, you know.
So she was just beating, like.
Oh, she was wild with it. I mean, she was bam, bam.
What is your door made out of? Is it like a metal or like a, I'm not sure.
I have no idea. I just was like, oh, dear God, you know. I thought I was going to get my, you know.
How long do you think she was hitting the door?
No, I can't even speculate, because it could have been seconds, it could have been, you know, when you get that fear response, and, you know, she banged on it. I was in the bathroom, came out of the bathroom, and she was still banging on it. So I don't know, maybe a minute or two.
Okay. And you didn't try to call 911 back at that point?
My phone wasn't there. I didn't know where I put my phone.
You don't remember where
No.
you put your phone?
And I was like, crap, I can't find my phone.
Okay. So you have an app on your phone that lets you review the video
Yes.
for your surveillance camera. Would you be willing to be able to let us look at that?
I don't have a phone.
Well, no, we have it in the
All right.
office
Okay.
over here, but
Yeah, get it.
okay.
Detectives pressed hard. What turned this into an imminent threat? The door was locked, the house built of concrete, and 911 already called. Susan claimed everything shook like it would collapse. But was that reality or fear magnified?
Days after shooting Ajike,
I'm like, why? I want to see who screams louder. I'm like, take it over to your house.
Sure. Okay. So Detective Stith has been talking to you about the timeline, okay? And some of the work we've done. Now, this is a picture that I drew. I am not an artist at all, but when I tell you some of the work we've done, we spoke to all the people over. This is your house, by the way. Okay, this is we'll put an S for you. We spoke to everybody in these buildings, we spoke to them all in these buildings, and we talked to anybody that had cameras that would see different areas. These cameras, they hear things. We're able to hear audio. We're able to hear things like that. And everyone we interviewed, I pretty much got the same, Detective Stith, I think we all got the same statement from every single person we interviewed. We lined up, well, we didn't line them up. These people were interviewed in different locations. Some of them were interviewed in different buildings, in different places. I interviewed them at different houses, and all these people provided me similar statements, okay? No one that provided these, now these people could hear her talking. Okay, because she was talking loudly. You said that you could hear it through the wall, and I can agree with that. Okay, she made a statement, something to the effect of, "Why'd you take my kid's iPad?" Okay, somebody heard her say that.
I never touched an iPad. I never saw the iPad. I don't know what this iPad is
A
about.
tablet or something like that?
Again, no tablet, no iPad, no electronics at all. It was never there, or at least I never saw it.
Okay.
So I have no idea.
Was she, maybe she's wrong, but was she asking you about a tablet or accusing you of something with a tablet or an iPad? I don't know if it's an iPad or a tablet. She could have?
She could have.
Okay, you seem unsure of some of the stuff she's saying through the door. Did she say, you're not really sure if she said that?
She could have said it during her rants.
Okay. She's saying these things. The thing is everything that we've learned so far, I have not learned of her ever saying to you that she wanted to get into the house. It sounded more like she wanted to talk to you outside of the house.
How do you want to talk to outside the house when you're banging and screaming?
Yeah.
That's not reasonable.
One of the people said that she said, "Come outside."
That's not, I'm sorry, that's not what?
It's not reasonable and prudent. I mean, you just don't, bang and expect someone to come out. Yeah, I think I'll come outside so you can,
Well, I know.
Seriously.
What she's learned, what I'm learning, what these people said is that she was saying to come outside. She wanted to confront you about something. She wanted you to come outside. Do you remember her making statements and asking you to come out there and talk to her?
I honestly don't recall.
Okay, so you don't remember that, and you seem unsure about some of the statements she made about the tablet.
Door cameras, 911 recordings, and witness accounts all lined up for review. Contradictions over locks, timing, and pounding shook her story. Truth didn't stand with either side. It stood with the evidence.
No one that we've interviewed so far has made any statements about her saying that she wanted to kill you.
That's what I heard.
Okay. You said you were so in fear and you're shaking. Is your memory affected regarding this incident in some way?
I just remember being terrified that she was banging and screaming, and I just remember hearing her say, "I'm going to kill you." Earlier in the night, before I called the police, I don't know how old he is, but he said, "I'm going to make sure you get killed tonight."
Which son? She has two sons.
I know. I don't remember. It was one of her sons, but he was there. He's like, "I'm going to make sure you get killed. I'm going to make sure that you know." And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Has this person ever shown you a weapon or anything like that?
No, but I mean, the little kid said it, and then all of a sudden his mom's coming over and she's banging and screaming. And
now I asked you this earlier. You said you can't see out there, but you've only seen her a few times. Mm-hmm. What means does she have to harm you through the wall?
Like I said, she was banging so much, everything was shaking and moving.
Now that house,
Which I couldn't believe because it's a cement block house.
That was my next question. So it's a cement block house, and the door, the deadbolt was activated, right?
The deadbolt was activated, right? And you just didn't have the chain lock?
I was going to say, I remember I didn't have the chain. I'm not quite sure if I had the deadbolt on or not.
Okay. I believe the last time we talked, you said you had the deadbolt, but you didn't want to get back close to the door to do the chain, is from what I recall. And you said you had the extra long deadbolt just installed. Recently?
Charles did it.
Okay, Charles.
So that's what the deadbolt's activated, the door's closed, it's a block house. I'm just trying to understand what made you so in fear of this woman if you have these things between you.
When we had spoken previously on the other time when she screamed at me and I finally acquiesced, I said, "Whatever you want, I'm so sorry." She followed me a foot behind me up until I went into the house. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, she gave me the creeps.
What happened during that incident where she followed you? What was the conversation?
She said, "Oh, you called my kids, I can't remember, I think, and or something stupid like that." And I'm like, okay, whatever, yes, I'm sorry, I apologize, and I finally said, I'm gonna leave this alone. I don't need, to get killed in the street. And
Did she
so,
tell you if she had recordings of you saying that?
I have no
Or like
idea.
one of the kids?
I have no idea.
But you apologized and she continued to follow you anyway?
Yeah, she followed me anyway.
How far did she follow you?
Like right up to where I go in by the wood.
By the fence
yeah.
okay. And then what happened after that?
She finally just went away.
Okay. And how long ago was that?
That was like a month or two ago.
Okay.
Words like reasonable and prudent slipped out like lines from a legal script. Susan admitted she had once read about stand your ground. Knowledge of self-defense became a double-edged sword. Could it protect her or expose calculation?
This is where her second unimaginable reasoning comes in for the racist remarks that the detective just mentioned.
Okay.
What's with the racial statements that everyone's saying that you made? I mean, have you ever used the N-word and they're using it against you? Have you said it in passing or something?
I have no idea. But it could have been I was speaking Hungarian and instead of English.
So you're native Hungarian? Is there...
My father was Hungarian, my mother was Polish, so we spoke mainly Hungarian in the household.
Okay. And is there, have you ever spoke Hungarian to these kids or anything like that?
Yeah, and they looked at me and they said, stop making up your language.
Although this claim is easy to dismantle due to the sheer number of witnesses saying otherwise, the main concern is her trying to use self-defense as a viable escape. Fortunately, because of her use of the words reasonable and prudent, detectives won't let her get away with it.
Well, we were in there going over everything, and my supervisor came in. He's actually kind of been listening a little, and something that caught my ear, like when we were talking earlier, you had mentioned the words, and I asked you to repeat it because I wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. You had mentioned terminology like reasonable and prudent in reference to how AJ was acting at your door while she was trespassing and everything. Where did that come from, that terminology? Is that
Watching TV.
watching TV? Okay. Like documentary stuff, or like what?
Probably just crime shows and stuff.
Crime shows? Okay. And I have to ask you this, have you done any research on like the laws as far as like in Florida, as far as self-defense and things like that?
I looked at it today.
You looked at it today?
When I was on Facebook. Just some things that, they had it up on Facebook.
Describe that. What did you, specifically, what you were reading about and learning about?
They said self-defense, and I'm trying to think what the hell else I looked at today. So much crap. Mostly emails. But I just remember saying self-defense, and there was a bunch of lawyers and stuff like that.
So, prior to today, even the last time that you and I spoke on very early Saturday morning, you had used some of that same kind of terminology in describing the situation that occurred at your front door. Prior to today, had you ever done any kind of research like that? And before I ask, let me just say, if we were to look through everything in your phone or your home desktop computer, is there anything kind of research on your internet history that would show that you've done research on like self-defense? Or have you ever heard of the term stand your ground?
Yes.
Have you ever done any kind of research on that?
Yes, when it was mentioned on some guy shot someone at a convenience store, and they said stand your ground now.
When cornered, Susan's memory slipped into I don't recall. Detectives offered her a way out, admit a mistake. But once she swam too far into lies, turning back meant drowning. She chose to cling to fear.
Was that like a Florida situation? Because
Yes.
I know every state
Yes.
has kind of different laws.
I think it was Florida. It was Florida.
Okay. And when was that?
God, years ago.
It was years ago?
Yeah, that was a years ago thing.
So nothing recent that would be on like your internet browser history?
I just looked it up today.
Right, but I mean other than, basically before this incident occurred at your door, but we're not talking about like a couple years ago. We're talking about within the last few months, would there be, because your internet browser, even if you delete it or you go on private browser, if we take a look at those things, because we did go through your phone, the judge ordered,
Yes.
signed an order for us to be able to do that. He agreed that there was reasonable enough evidence to be able to do that. So if that were the case, if we were just to look through that, would there show anything that you were looking up, stand your ground or self-defense laws in Florida on the internet?
I don't know, I look up tons of stuff.
Is it a possibility that you looked that up?
Could have been, I don't know.
Okay.
I look up, I
And-
just,
and the
when I
reason
read
I ask is
articles,
I'm
I
trying
just
to-
go and see why the laws were, so I want to know why, like, if they have an article, what happened in the situation, what,
Well, Susan, I think you know the reason why I'm asking that question. You're smart, okay? And the reason is...
Oh, hell no. No, absolutely. I know what you're thinking. Did I look up the laws so I could do something? No, absolutely
This is
not.
not a
No.
situation where you set something
No.
up
No.
because you were
No.
tired of this person, you were
No.
tired of the
No.
situation that they put you
Absolutely
in.
no.
Okay.
Sorry, no.
So, Susan, we talked enough that I've come to a conclusion here, everything that I've learned, okay? And I see this on a scale here. Detective Stith had brought up, you are Susan, are you the Susan that has done research on Stand Your Ground and has planned for this to happen, was planning for this to happen? There's a spectrum here. Is this the Susan over here? And then there's also could be a Susan over here that was, I have a gun in the house, I'm scared. Someone is knocking on the door. I'd like them to go away. I'm just gonna, I picked up the gun and I accidentally shot the gun. There's a Susan somewhere in the world like that. You've somehow found a spot in the middle where you're trying to explain this, but it doesn't actually make any sense. That within 2 minutes, because we know it's 2 minutes, within 2 minutes, this person came over and they were able to put down a series of statements, such as, and you said this, that they came right up to and they want to have a discussion with the way that you were treating their kids that day. You said that they were able to make that sentence. I want to talk to you about the kids. I'm banging on the door. I want to talk to you about the kids. They're making statements like that. We've interviewed other people that it was a very brief interaction, and then you shot them. Now, this wasn't a long siege. It wasn't a castle siege. It didn't last for 20, 30 minutes. It was 2 minutes. So you're trying to tell us that a reasonable person would shoot somebody for less than 2 minutes of making statements outside.
The timeline locked in, less than 2 minutes from pounding to gunfire. Not a prolonged siege, but an instant choice. Was it reason or impulse? Justice would measure in seconds, not in feelings.
That doesn't make any sense. So that I have to look on the scale here. Where is Susan? Did she plan this? Is she a cold-blooded killer that plans things? Was this an accident? Or was this something that got out of hand? Is it somewhere in the middle? That makes more sense. Not what Susan's telling me. Is it somewhere in the middle? Because I know that I talked to Detective Stith. We kind of went through your first interview. And in that first interview, you had even said to the kids, you know what, go get your mom.
No, I didn't.
You said something along the lines as when they said, I'm going to go get my mom, you said, go get her.
Go get her. Which is fine. I want to talk to an adult too. I don't want to talk to a kid.
I remember saying that.
This is Susan's third contradiction, where she clearly mentions the opposite to be true in her first interview.
I'm going to tell my mom, I'm like, go tell your mom, I don't care,
As a result, you see Susan clearly begin to panic as she realizes her act is up, precisely because her attempts to manipulate detectives backfire.
So this has happened a few times during our interview also. You have these, I don't remember. There's been a couple times that you don't remember. And these are important things to remember, and you're not able to remember them. I believe that you do remember them, and that worries me. That makes me feel like you're not telling us it because you are that you are Susan, the person that is planning. I'm just trying to figure out who's sitting in front of me here. Is it over here? I've been planning this. I picked up the gun and I was waiting for her to come over because it was very quick. It was 2 minutes. Or it was I had the gun in my hand and I made a mistake, but now I've dug my heels in and I've made these statements so far to Detective Stith about a mistake I made, and I feel like I can't go back. I don't want to feel like you're at a point that you can't go back. We are all human. And I'm going to tell you this, 99% of the people that sit in front of me in this room, they do not tell me the truth like the entire time. But then we get to a point where I show them that everything they're saying actually doesn't make any sense. And I always tell them, I say, look, we want to go the path of least resistance. We don't want to go down the path of embarrassment or humiliation or I made a mistake. They don't want to do that, but I show them everything. and they say, you know what, and I don't hold it against them, I don't take anything personally. If you had said something before that was not true and you felt like you had to go down that path to protect yourself or whatever it is, but it's not true, this is your opportunity to tell us. And I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to say Susan is a jerk or a liar or anything like that. I'm going to say what Susan's saying now makes a little bit more sense for me and Detective Stith. And this is that opportunity. If something is different than what you originally told us, I might be able to make sense out of it because I know your history now. I know that you were a victim of some kind of trauma. I know that there was things that happened to you when you were in school. I know that you have gone through hard experiences, and maybe that influenced why you said the things you said before.
Witnesses recalled hearing, "Come outside and talk," not "I'll kill you." Calls for dialogue struck a locked door. In the dark, the target was unseen, but the bullet was real, and its path did not lie.
But I can tell you right now, what we've learned, what we've discussed all leading up to this, it doesn't make any sense. So this is your opportunity to actually tell us that something that does make sense. I'm not going to hold it against you. I'm not going to get mad. But whenever AJ was coming over that evening, what happened? What happened? Bring me to that moment when you had the gun in your hand. What were you thinking?
All I wanted her was to go away. I just, I felt she was going to come through that door and kill me. I'm sorry, that's what I felt. I just felt she was going to come through the door and kill me.
Okay.
It was a tremendous fear.
The verdict came. The jury confirmed she fired, and guilt was sealed. The question left behind wasn't did she shoot, but why, and whether fear can stand firm against the cold weight of evidence. After hours of tense interrogation, Susan's conflicting words began to unravel. Evidence from cameras, witness statements, and the 911 tapes revealed the truth. This was no moment of panic, but a cold-blooded shot that ended the life of an innocent mother. In the end, the jury delivered its verdict. Susan Lawrence was found guilty of first-degree murder, facing a maximum sentence of 30 years in prison. No self-defense, no accident, only a harsh punishment for her actions. What do you think? Was this a fair sentence for Susan's crime? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss our deep dives into other shocking cases.